What is up, guys? Today we have some really cool stuff we're gonna do. First of all, we're gonna do some Series 10 talk. I'm gonna talk about my thoughts. You guys can already see that I have something prepared for you guys. Obviously, I haven't talked about Series 10 at all, I think. We played one tournament, but my brain was not ready for Series 10 because I was still stuck with Series 9, right? I had to play Players Cup, I had to prepare for global finals, so like I have this problem that I can't fix my brain to do two things. Like I have to do one thing at a time, and if I play like Series 9 and Series 10 at the same time, like let's say I was streaming Series 10, but I still have to play probably the most important tournament of my life in Series 9, I don't know if that would have worked. Yeah, now that everything is over with Players Cup, I can finally play Series 10. I haven't played too much, so those are like my initial thoughts. So if you guys have any suggestions, any improvements, feel free to tell me. I just included a couple months. You guys can see the list, but the list definitely goes on and on. But those are like the months that just came to mind immediately. But yeah, we'll see. The rules should be clear to most of y'all. We don't have Dynamax anymore. We have restricted though. It's pretty similar to Series 8. We just have one restricted. I hope they will include two at some point, maybe in Series 11, who knows. But this is like the first time since I'm playing Pokemon that I'm not dealing with Mega Evolutions, no Z moves, no Ultra Burst, I think that's what Ultra Necrozma did, and no Dynamax. So I'm really looking forward to grind Series 10. I feel like we don't have a lot of tournaments so far, like no important tournaments, but hopefully they will announce one. Oh, we have Euro Cup, how could I forget? What I prepared here is we have summons that used to be really good, that are not good anymore, that won't be good without Dynamax. Here, obviously, this Dragapult set. This was like the most common set throughout the series, I think, or throughout VGC 20 and 21. I don't think it's good anymore. Obviously, like, I don't say that Dragapult is bad, I say that this set is bad. I can't see Dragapult being good as a support mon. Like, if you give it the Focus Sash, it can pretty much deal with the really annoying core of Mienshao and Calyrex Shadow. Like, if you have the Sash, like, they can't fake you out, so they go for Astro Barrage, you take it because of the Sash, and then you just KO it back. But I would play it Special, because I feel like Special is pretty good. I can't see Dragon Darts being good, Fly being good, Phantom Force is not bad. Actually, both moves are not bad, but I feel like on Dragapult you should probably go Special. And the ability, I would change it to Infiltrator, because we have Substitute now, which is really busted without Dynamax. Then we go like Shadow Ball, Flamethrower if you're afraid of Kartanas or Ferrothorns. Then there's obviously Draco Meteor and Protect, but you can play its support as well with Will-O-Wisp. It even gets Sucker Punch, which is pretty cool. I think it should KO Calyrex, but I'm not too sure. Maybe you have to pair it with a Life Orb. But yeah, that's Dragapult. Without Dynamax, it's not good. Like this physical set, at least. Then we have Colossal. Since we have no Dynamax, we also don't have G-Max. No Volcalith anymore, no residual damage. This is like huge, I think. Colossal is probably the best Pokemon if you look at Gen 8. Like VGC-wise, it won like 2 Players Cups. It did really well in GS Cup as well. Not GS Cup, in Series 8. What else? Like, it won a lot of tournaments, right? I even used it in the beginning of Series 4 or 5, I think. Like, it was a really cool mon. I had like a physical set with Explosion back then because, oh, we didn't have Meteor Beam back then. And I think we didn't have the G-Max move, like the residual damage stuff as well. So maybe it was Series 4, I don't remember too well. So yeah, Colossal used to be really good, now I don't see it. Thundurus. Obviously, Thundurus is a good Pokemon, especially if you played support with a Prankster. I think it was pretty good in Series 8, in Series 9, and I feel like it's gonna be really good in Series 10 as well. But this set that used to kind of dominate Series 5, I think, when it got released, or when it got the hidden ability, used to be pretty good, but I now can't see this Pokemon being good anymore. Like, Intimidate is still around, right? Instant is around, so is Landorus, even though I feel like we see more Landorus Incarnate than Landorus Therian, but I still think that you don't play this thing physical anymore. Obviously, here's Lapras, one of my favorite Pokemon. It was really, really good because of the G-Max move. You got screens with Light Clay. This mon might be good with Water Absorb, like to make Kyogre pretty much useless unless it's carrying something like Thunder. But this mon was pretty good, it's not good anymore. And then we have Spectre. This is also like one Pokemon that used to dominate the meta, especially next to Clefairy or Whimsicott. but I don't know, with Calyrex Shadow Rider around, with a lot of hate, even Zacian just knocks it out, outspeeds it and knocks it out. I don't think that this Pokemon is pretty good anymore. Like, as a support, obviously, you can play it with a Sash. I feel like Sash is really, really good because you just don't die to Astral Barrage, right? And then you just KO it back, because this thing has a lot of special attack sets, or a really high special attack set. But as the Spectra we used to know, I don't think it has any place in the format right now. Okay, next segment. We have mons that already used to be really good in Dynamax formats, but now they are way better. That is like how I feel about Regieleki. About both Urshifus, I just have the water one, but both Urshifus should be really good, and they should be better than they used to be, right? Because like those mons survived the Dynamax meta and were like top tier Pokemon, and now without Dynamax, they're just way better, I think. So we have Regieleki. You can play it how you want. Like, I've seen Specs, I've seen even Light Clay, Life Orb, Sash for the Tornadus Kyogre matchup, so you don't die to Tailwind Water Spout. So I feel like this is pretty good. What is up, guys? Quickly talking about Urshifu, because for some reason I forgot to mention them in the initial video. So if we think about Urshifu, we've been playing Dynamax for nearly 2 years now. They got introduced nearly a year ago, I think, with the Eyes of Armor, which was Series 5. And once they got introduced, they took immediately over usage stats. Dark Urshifu actually was the #1 used Pokemon for a long period of time, and the Water Urshifu found its foot a little bit later. It was still being used for sure, but once Incineroar and Landorus were really annoying, people started to use Rapid Strike Urshifu as well, and it was seeing more usage. But now for the first time, I believe that Water Urshifu will have a higher usage than Dark Urshifu, and I feel like the reason for that is, again, Incin is nearly on every single team. Both Landorus now are seeing really high amount of usage, Incarnate form and the Etherean form. There is Xerneas, which wasn't as strong in Series 8 because of Dynamax, and now Xerneas is just an incredible Pokemon, so this guy deals with it way better because it hits it for really good damage. It actually 2-hit KOs it most of the time, and Dark Urshifu just can't do that, right? Also, Zacian is, I think, the biggest reason why this guy is seeing so much usage, because this guy is hitting Zacian really good. You can break this up with Surging Strikes and still do damage, and Behemoth Blade, Zacian's most favorite move, just doesn't hit this guy for a lot of damage. You can actually EV this to be a 3-hit KO even with a +1 boost from Zacian, and with Dark Urshifu you actually can't do this. I've seen like a really cool set, which you guys are seeing right now. This is a set that my friend Kunal used in Rose Tower Tournament, if I remember correctly, and he did top 8. And I really love this. With Mystical Water, you actually still hit harder than the standard Sash Urshifu, where it has 252 attack and 252 speed in EVs. And this guy actually takes Dazzling Gleams from a Fairy Aura boosted Xerneas. Behemoth Blade is a 2-hit KO, and you just do incredible amount of damage. You're still hitting harder than the normal Urshifu Water. This Urshifu just stays way longer on the field, and you have a way better time dealing with your opponent's threats, instead of with the non-bulk Urshifu that just likes to go down in turn 2 or even in turn 1 sometimes if the opponent just doubles it. This is my most favorite set. Obviously you can still run the really standard Sash set, but I feel like Mystical Water will probably prevail in a really defensive format that we have right now. Other than that, we have the Dark Urshifu. This guy is still pretty good, don't get me wrong, because it's really good against Calyrex, but my problem is, what I liked on Urshifu Dark the most was not the Wick Blow, but the combination of Wick Blow plus Sucker Punch, because with that, if your opponent's Pokemon is not resisting it, most of the time that combination was enough, especially when they can't Dynamax. But now that we have Tsurina on a lot of teams, especially on Calyrex teams, I feel like this is way harder to do, because the Creamy Majesty just blocks this, and if you can't Sucker Punch, the opposing Calyrex, if you don't have your Sash, it just KOs you if it has like 1 or 2 special attack boosts, because Calyrex is just that strong. And yeah, don't get me wrong, we will still see this Urshifu in a lot of teams, but I feel like Water Urshifu will prevail at the end. And yeah, these are 2 mons that we'll see on nearly every single team. It's just incredibly strong. Alright, we have Amoonguss and Incin. Like, we will see this Pokemon a lot. There were a lot of tournaments where these Pokemon did really well. I feel like those 2 used to be one of the best in Generation 8 as well. Like, if I just think about GS Cup, Ultra Series, Moon Series, Sun Series, like, they were amazing, and they will continue to be amazing for sure. You can play the Amoonguss with a Sash, you can have an anti... Actually, Cobra Berry is not that good anymore, right? Without Airstream. So, you can play Mental Herb if you're too afraid of taunts, but Like, I don't know. How I would play this is pretty standard. Like, you go the Spore, Protect, Rage Powder, and then we have like a couple options. You can go Clear Smog if you fear Xerneas. What you can do as well is Pollen Puff. I feel like next to Kyogre, you can play Pollen Puff to get your HP back and then power through your opponent's team with max HP Water Spout. I think like you have a lot of options. Even Slush Bomb is good, or Grass Knot, because since we got rid of Dynamax, you are not afraid to use Grass Knot anymore, because obviously in the past they failed to do damage to Pokemon that Dynamax. But I feel like without Dynamax, Grass Knot has a place for sure. Can't wait till Instant reaches 80% usage. Definitely, that's bound to happen, I think. Okay, what else do we have? Rillaboom, amazing Pokemon. I'm gonna use Rillaboom as well at today's tour. Let's see how it goes. It should be pretty good. It used to be pretty good, and I don't see a reason it shouldn't be. So, I don't know. You have a couple options. You can play Assault Vest. You can play Rose Incense, or what's the other thing called? Miracle Seed, I think. The only thing, I don't know if it's mandatory to play Woodhammer because Serena's around now. For today's tournament, I don't have Woodhammer. Like, what I like here is Protect. Protect is an amazing move. And now without Dynamax, I feel like it's even better. I love U-Turn. Like, repositioning is pretty good. Fake Out, one of the best moves in the game. And then, like, if I had to decide whether I want to play Grassy Light or Woodhammer, it's always Grassy Light, right? So, we don't have Woodhammer. Maybe I could drop Protect, but I wanted to try it without Woodhammer today. If I lose to a lot of Psychic Terrain stuff or Serena's, will definitely change, but I feel like this is like the standard set, even though Serena is pretty common. Or Knockout is even a thing as well. But yeah, then we have Torkoal. Incredible Pokemon. Even in the Dynamax format, it did so much. Like, you guys watched my Players Cup. Okay, I have to be careful with the words. My Players Cup regional finals, winners round 3, right? I played against Willfire with this Torkoal. And in game 1, what happened was, I thought that I can power through with Registeel. I even maxed Registeel, but that was a terrible attempt. Torkoal just came in Trick Room, I couldn't stop it. It just pressed Eruption. I maxed the Pokemon, but it still took like 80%, right? So
Fevzi's going the whole time in this move timer, really going right down to the last second.
Of course, having to really just think through the decision, the right thing going up against this Torkoal here. So Blastoise is going to be joining in the field in place of that Incineroar, but we are going to see the first max of the game with that Registeel. I don't really think we get to see that as often. Normally it deals enough damage with the body press, gets the Iron Defense, kind of sits there next to a max, but it's having its opportunity to shine here.
It has to do that because otherwise it's not able to take this huge eruption from the Torkoal. A really wise max from Fevzi, I think.
And now imagine Torkoal in a non-Dynamax format. I feel like this is like one of the scariest Pokemon. And if you just let Trick Room go up and there's a Torkoal staring at you, it's gotta be rough for sure. But yeah, other than Torkoal, we have the Finny. The funny thing that happens once we have restricted is, like, people go from Calm Mind, Lefties, Moonblast, Scald or Muddy Water, Protect, to stuff like Citrus Berry that they play like Nature's Madness. Like, Nature's Madness is an amazing move because in Dynamax formats, when you press Nature's Madness against, let's say, a Lando that's about to Dynamax, or that is Dynamaxing, you just do like 25%, right? Like, but since they can't Dynamax anymore, what you do is just do 50%, and that is like amazing. Like, being able to spam 50% to every single mon, like, this move has nothing that it can't do damage to, right? Like, it has no immunity, there's nothing that stops this. As long as you hit, you're in a good spot. So Nature's Madness is, in my opinion, really good. This thing has Heal Pulse. I even like Taunt. Like, there are a lot of support options, and one of my favorites is Haze. Obviously, you shouldn't play the Pokemon like this, I think, because Nature's Madness doesn't KO Pokemon unless they are at like 1 HP, and to get a Pokemon to 1 HP, you have to press like, I don't know, 50 Nature's Madnesses? Something like that. Maybe drop Taunt if you want to play this and go with Moonblast. But I feel like Haze is pretty good. I used to run this in Ultra Series as well. You can haze away boosts from Groudon if they go for Sword Stance. You can haze away Geomancy boosts. So I really like this. Yeah, what I used to do was I had like a physical attacker next to Finny, and then Intimidate came in, but before my Mon attacked, I hazed because my Finny was faster than my physical attacker, and then we got like a clean neutral attack off, which was pretty cool. Another one that I want to mention is the Porygon. Obviously was pretty good in a Dynamax format, now it's even better. It doesn't have a lot of things that pressure it. Like there's Urshifu obviously, but you can easily EV to take Urshifu's hits. You can play it with redirection. You're not afraid to lose your Porygon to something like a Max Knuckle plus Close Combat or Max Darkness plus, let's say, Expanding Force from Specs. Lele doesn't learn Expanding Force, but indeed he did, like Size Spam ones in general. I think Porygon is really good, especially against stuff like Calyrex. It's really, really good. And then we have Dusclops, obviously. Really good Pokemon. I don't know if it's me, but I've played some matches on Showdown, but I haven't seen a lot of Dark Urshifus. I don't know why, but people are playing the water version way more than the dark variant. Maybe it's because Incin is really everywhere, but I don't know. I kind of think that if you want to play Dusclops, maybe now is the perfect time if you have White Guard next to it. There are like some Pokemon that learn White Guard, but they can't get fainted, right? Such as Aegislash. What people do is they play Mienshao next to Calyrex so they can feint White Guards, but if you have two Ghost types, they can't feint you. So I feel like Aegislash plus Dusclops is pretty good. Alright, those are the Pokemon that I wanted to mention. I think there are a lot more that were really good in a Dynamax format, but now they're way better. But like those are like 9 Pokemon that I just wrote down from the top of my head, and I'm 100% sure that they are at least twice of the amount that is here. Okay, next we come to moves that are viable now. I already mentioned it, but we were not able to go for Heavy Slams because, I mean, I was playing Heavy Slam as well, right? I'm Sakataka, but it was because I didn't plan on touching Dynamax Pokemon. But now that we don't have Dynamax anymore, Heavy Slam actually does an incredible amount of damage to a lot of Pokemon, especially Celesteela being one of the heaviest Pokemon in the game. You can easily go for Heavy Slams and do like, I don't know, 30% damage, even if it's not super effective. I don't want to talk about Celesteela in general, I just wanted to talk about Heavy Slam and White Guard as well. So I feel like White Guard being so present right now kind of forces Kyogre teams to play either a feint or they need to play Scald. It kind of limits them, right? And I think that's what makes White Guard super strong. And yeah, like if you're afraid of Groudon P-Blades, if you're afraid of Eruption, if you're afraid of Origin Pulse or Water Spout, I feel like White Guard is your solution for sure. But yeah, then I already played this Pokemon on stream when we were streaming the first or second tournament. Grass Knot is an amazing move, I think. Like you do max damage to Kyogre, you do max damage to Groudon, and those are like the Pokemon you want to hit the most, I think, with Venu. And like for Finny, you have Sludge Bomb. Grass Knot even does a lot of damage to Landorus. I didn't know that, but I think it does like 80, and that's pretty good. But yeah, next we have Encore. So Encore used to be one of my least favorite moves in Generation 7 because like when I was playing Xerneas, when I go for Geomancy or a Taunt, not a Taunt, a Protect, Whimsicott just came in, go for Encore, and then the game is pretty much over, right? And I feel like Encore is one of the best moves to kind of seal the game. If you catch your opponent off guard when they go for something like Geomancy or Protect or anything else that's not doing damage, Whimsicott comes in at the right time, presses Encore, and then you just win the game from there, right? Especially like 1 versus 1s. And you can make a lot of Pokemon, a lot of strong Pokemon just useless while going for Encore. Then we have Groudon. This one I've played on stream as well already. I think Heat Crash is an amazing move. You do like max damage to Rillaboom. Like you're able to pick up Chaos against Rillaboom, against Kartana in Rain, I think. I'm pretty sure. A lot of other things I forgot. But you do like 120 damage to most of the Pokemon that are around right now. And like you don't get the same amount of damage output if you play something like Fire Punch, right? So Heat Crash, I think, is always optimal on Groudon, especially if you have something like Life Orb. Like, I don't think there's a Pokemon that can take this if it's super effective. Then we have Substitute. So why was Substitute bad? Because you couldn't sub. Actually, you could sub, but once you go for the Dynamax, you lose the sub, right? But now that there's no Dynamax, you can safely go for Substitutes, not worry about being in weird situations. You can sub to prevent the opposing Amoonguss from putting you to sleep. You can by 3 turns if your opponent has a really passive fleet, such as Trick Room plus Redirection. So, like what they do is most of the time follow me on Trick Room because they want to get Trick Room up, and if you just substitute in their face, they have to waste like 2 moves to do damage to the Heatran, right? And imagine you protect, imagine you sub again when they attack. Like, substitute is an incredible move, I think, and one of the best moves to kinda annoy Trick Room teams. Alright, next we have Hitmontop. Why do I have Hitmontop here? I wanted to poke a Pokemon that has Fake Out and Quick Guard, and Hitmontop is one of those. Fake Out because you're not afraid that you lose the 50-50 when you fake out the wrong mon. Like, I remember some teams, even on my Players Cup run, my opponent, like Duffel, what he did was he led with Naganadel and Zapdos, right? Zapdos was Galarian, Zapdos, and I was leading with Rillaboom and something else, and I didn't know what to fake out. Because like, if I fake out the Naganadel and it decides to max, I just lose the match. If I fake out the Zapdos and it decides to Airstream me, I lose the match as well. So, like, Fake Out was a really good move, obviously, for late game, or if you wanted to stop support Pokemon when you know they were 100% support and they're not gonna Dynamax in your face, such as Support Thundurus, Whimsicott, Trick Room Setters. It was pretty good, but like, if you were playing against Hyper Offense, they could just max everything, right? So, Fake Out was not the most efficient move, but now that we don't have Dynamax, I think it's not even one of the best moves, it is the best move in the game. A lot of things will end up around Fake Out, like people will creep the instance, or they will creep each other with instant speed stats so they can get the first Fake Out off. It's gonna be really, really weird, I think. Just like it used to be in Ultra Series and Sun and Moon Series, and even before. And then we have Quick Guard. Like, it lets you neutralize opposing Fake Outs, Grassy Glides, taunts from Prankster Mons, T-Waves from Prankster Mons. I think Quick Guard is pretty cool as well, especially on like Kyogre teams, because you want to stop, like, if you don't have a Serena, you better have Quick Guard to stop Rillaboom, in case you don't have a good Rillaboom matchup. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about are Mons that are coming back or are way better now. So first, we have the Landorus. I haven't seen a lot of Landorus incarnates at all. I think this Pokemon is incredibly strong. Like, let's say you give it a Life Orb, like Earth Power, UKO, most of the instants. I think instants always have to be Assault Vest to take this, or run Sugar Berry, but I don't think Sugar Berry is a good item anymore because of Calyrex, because there's Unearth, right? Like, it kind of feels like a waste. And I can also see like a lot of Calyrex teams next to Landorus, so I don't know, they just swap in their Calyrex and Earth Power you, and you don't take the hit anymore. Alright, next we have Serena. There were a lot of tournaments with Serena already. It won like one tournament with Shedinja that we're gonna talk about in a bit. But yeah, Serena is pretty good. Like, Screaming Majesty stops everything priority related. You can even play Grassy Glide if you don't care about not having grassy terrain, and if you do, this is just an incredible move. And since there's a lot of Rillaboom, I feel like you can justify playing Grassy Glide because, one, you don't miss. Like, Power Whip has like an accuracy of 85, and we all know how bad this can be. So actually there's Drop Kick as well, right? Yeah, Drop Kick is 70. If you're gonna play Drop Kick, you can also play Grassy Glide. So I think, like, in the right spot, this can be an amazing move. And then you have like U-turn, High Jump Kick, and I don't know, Triple Axle maybe. Pretty good. Xerneas was really bad, I'm not gonna lie. That is such a good mon. What are you talking about? No, it is. Xerneas was really bad in a Dynamax format. Like, I remember like when we did the tier list, Xerneas was, I think, A tier when I was ranking it, but it was really bad. Like, I haven't seen a single Xerneas win a tournament, a big tournament. I haven't seen a single good Xerneas team as well during Series 8. Yeah, I was really disappointed in Xerneas, but now Xerneas is easily S tier in my opinion. Without Dynamax, it's like one of the most dangerous Pokemon in the format. Like, how you play this is just standard, like Power Herb, then you have like Protect, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Geomancy. Like, this has always been the best set, and I don't think there's a reason to change this. And then we have Volcarona. This Pokemon is so good. Like, we haven't seen it at all in Series 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. In 8 we saw it a little bit because of Zacian, but then in Series 9 it disappeared again. But now it's like one of the best Pokemon in the format, I think. Like in a lot of teams, I see this Pokemon that deals incredibly well with Zacian. It tanks Xerneas hits. It's good against Groudon because Groudon gives you a free boost with the Sun. And Volcarona is such a scary Pokemon. Like, I don't know, you can't even play Rocky Helmet if you really hate Zacian a lot. You can have Quiver Dance if you want to. You can have Fiery Dance that boosts your special attack stat. Rage Powder, Struggle Bug if you go support, like Protect, Heat Wave. There are so many options. Even like a Giga Drain, I think. You can run Giga Drain if you play with Quiver Dance because you just heal up so much, right? If you Giga Drain a Kyogre, for example, or a Groudon. But yeah, then we have Mienshao. This is like one of the most annoying Pokemon I've seen so far. You don't know if it's gonna fake you out. You don't know if it's gonna feint you. You don't know if it's gonna Helping Hand, Close Combat you, Wide Guard. Like the move pool is just incredibly unfair, I think. It can taunt you, it can Swords Dance, it can sub, Stone Edge, U-turn, Ally Switch, even Rain Dance, dude. Sunny Day. I think I've never seen a better move pool if you like ignore stuff like Smeagol or Mewtwo. Not Mewtwo, Mew. Like the amount of support moves this thing has is incredible. But yeah, after Mienshao we have Shedinja. Super crazy Pokemon. With Max we had like options to go for Max Rockfalls, Max Hailstorms, to just change the weather, and then this thing was super useless. But now that we don't have those anymore, it even won a tournament as well. So this thing, like with Ally Switch, it's like one of the most annoying Pokemon in the format as well. You never know what it's gonna do. Does it have Toxic? No, but it has Will-O-Wisp, I think. Yeah. Like this one is crazy. Like it checks Xerneas, it checks Zacian, it checks Kyogre, it checks Groudon if they don't have Heat Crash or Rock Move. And you can even play it with Soak, and it gets way more dangerous. But yeah, Shedinja is really scary. Like if you don't have ways to hit Shedinja, I don't think you're in the best spot. Like if you have an instant as your only mon that hits the Shedinja, all the opponent does is get rid of the Shedinja with the Kyogre or something else, and then Shedinja just wins against everything, right? You can't even PP stall this Pokemon because like Shadow Sneak has a lot of PP, 24, 48 even. Oh god. Yeah, this Pokemon is crazy. I think what you have to do against this Pokemon is maybe go for the timer, and maybe with timer stalling you might win, but it's still rough. All right, next we have Ditto. Like, so whenever we have restricted formats, Ditto shines. There's like this saying that why have only one restricted when you have two, when you can have two, and that's exactly the case. Like, you can play Zacian and you might have a bad Groudon matchup, but then you just copy the opposing Groudon. If you position yourself well, you just transform. You can even play Scarf and you just outspeed your opponent's Pokemon, or you can even run Quick Claw. I think that's what we've seen as well in the past. Arium Z. That's what I was running in Moon Series, because I was copying the opposing Xerneas and then just go for Ferium Z. That was like really nasty. It's a really good Pokemon, Ditto. I don't think there's much to say. Like, if you position yourself not optimally against Ditto, it just sweeps you with your own weapons, and that's not the best feeling, to say the least. Okay, next we have Eternatus. So this one was really bad, I think. We were trying it out in Series 8, like me and Faiz. We were trying like Toxic, Cosmic Power, what else? Recover, I think, and Flamethrower, something like that. But this Pokemon was just not bulky enough to take like Dynamax moves, right? Like what people did was they lead their Dragapult, they go for Max Phantasm, and then they just Weak Blow you and you just drop, right? But now without Dynamax, I think it's really, really hard to break this Pokemon. It has an amazing matchup against Kyogre. If you get one Cosmic Power up, you're in a really good spot against Xerneas as well, if you can prevent them from boosting. But yeah, Eternatus is pretty good. Scary Pokemon for sure. And then we have Araquanid. This Pokemon was also pretty dead in the past series, but I feel like now that we don't have Dynamax anymore, it's really the time to shine for this Pokemon. I have it on today's team as well. Like, Water Bubble is incredibly good. Firepower is halved. Your water moves do twice more damage, and you can't be burnt. And you're a physical attacker, so what else do you want? I feel like Swampert has a place as well. Like, it has Yawn, it has Wide Guard, it has Flip Turn, a lot of really good moves, and I'm a big fan of Swampert. I feel like it has also won like one of the first Series 10 tournaments as well, if I remember correctly. And I really like this Pokemon. And then last I want to mention is the Gothitelle. Like, I'm a big Gothitelle fan, maybe one of my favorite Pokemon. I was running it a lot in Generation 8, but once we got like max moves, it got really hard to justify playing this Pokemon because there was Dragapult, there was Urshifu. I mean, Urshifu's still there, but like the max moves from Dragapult, from Spectre, made it really, really rough to play this Pokemon. Now that we don't have Dynamax anymore, like I feel like trapping is really, really good. So yeah, those are like the Pokemon that came to my mind. Obviously there are more, but since we're running out of time, let's play in the tournament. 5 minutes to start. But yeah, amazing stream. Thank you guys so much. What we didn't manage to do today is the tier list. I want to go online tomorrow as well so we can do the tier list. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. Take care. Have a good night or a good morning if you're from Australia. And yeah, take care. Love you guys. Bye bye.